So there's not really an easy way of getting a 1600 on the SAT. However, there are less efficient and more efficient ways. By less efficient, I mean, are you just kind of picking random questions you think might be on there? Are you trying to learn everything? Or are you just trying to take as many tests as possible just to get some experience with it? Those I would call inefficient methods for studying. There are then structured methods for studying. These methods take many forms, but for the most part, there's just a pathway of content that you go through. I think having structure is always going to be a better step up than not having structure. But is it efficient? I would also say maybe not. I think it's really clear from workshops. So whenever you see an SAT program where it's 4 weeks, 10 weeks, 20 weeks, 30 weeks, in order for them to actually get results, they put a lot of caveats. You got to take this like 30-hour SAT program that costs like thousands of dollars and you have to do all the homework and all that stuff. There's a reason they put all those caveats. It's because it's not personalized. If you actually want to see like results, you'll need to personalize your own program. So either you do it or someone else does it for you, but what you need is to only get the information that you need and not necessarily the information the entire class needs. For the most part, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Why is that? Well, everyone went to different schools. Everyone paid attention to different things. Some people are in the same school, but maybe they're taking different classes, like AP Calculus. Maybe one teacher emphasized a lot of things and another teacher didn't so much. These little changes add up, and pretty much when you have a workshop style, you're going to have a whole room of people where everyone knows a little bit different. Your solution is to try to personalize it as much as possible. But first, add some structure to it, so that's still good. If you only have 4 weeks of study, that's about enough time to take 4 practice tests. Here's how you should structure it. You take the verbal portion one day and you take the math portion another day. After you do the verbal portion, you review the questions. After you do the math portion, you review the questions. The verbal portion needs to be reviewed in a specific way, but for the most part, what you'll need to do is you'll need to get good at eliminating incorrect answers. For the math section, you'll need to be able to recognize very quickly what are they asking me for. The main reason for this is that the math section has far more content. And so you benefit greatly from being able to spot out what content you're being tested on really quickly. And it's also a bit randomized. So the verbal section will always have the same sections in the same order, but the math section will always have different sections in different orders at different difficulties. So again, step 1, segment the verbal section, the math section. You do not want to take those on the same day, mainly because you want a little bit of rest in between each section. Last thing you want is to take a bunch of tests all in a row and just get totally burnt out. So you also have to be taking into account like your capacity. At some point, taking more tests does not help if you haven't reviewed these tests. So only taking half the test gives us enough breathing room to be able to review it, go to the next section, and then start this process over again. To personalize your journey, you're going to need to have some sort of way to actually get feedback in a way that is meaningful and addresses your specific issue you're having. But what does that mean? There's 2 types of ways that someone can often help you with the content. The first is giving you information that you might not know. So maybe if you didn't know how to take the area of a circle, now you can because someone showed you, okay, it's just pi r squared. But then there's the trickier kind, which is how to unlearn information that you specifically learned incorrectly. It's not like you did it on purpose, but it's something that just happens. That's a lot of times why I think that most people don't benefit from just like reading a prep book or going to a course or anything like that. It's because there's no one that's going to know exactly how you need to learn something unless they actually talk to you. And if they don't talk to you and ask you, well, what do you think about this? Why are you getting this part incorrect? Then you won't be able to actually know what the issue is. So for those kinds of unlearnings, those are really prominent if you're scoring probably less than 1200 about. After you're scoring above 1200, usually you have still some of those misunderstandings, but probably a lot less. The knowledge itself portion, again, it's not that big. There is a lot of math topics, but not so many that you can't conquer over 4 to 8 weeks. What's tricky is unlearning bad habits. And now that you finally reviewed the content, the only way to actually determine, hey, did I now properly relearn it? Do I now know how to do these things? Use practice problems. Use the SAT question bank. The SAT question bank will really test you but it'll also help you to get those little nuances. So that could be like the wording of the questions or a specific type of way they can ask the question. However they can change it, that's what those practice problems are for. They're to test you to see if you can get questions that are like this generalized concept. So I hope that helped. And if it did, let me know how it helped or what I can do to make sure that it helps more next time. And don't forget to subscribe to my page. Take care, y'all.